This is Lady K saying it is what it is. What is it that we're going to talk about today? Well, we're in Atlanta, but today is very cold. It's been cold for the last several weeks, but we've had so many issues going on with the weather here in Atlanta. We're just not prepared for what's going on. The north right now is under siege with winter storms and snowfalls and everything, but they can handle it. They know how to handle it. Well, the catastrophe that we just had in the last few days, we're talking about. Right now, we're going to talk about the weather in Atlanta for the last few days. Well, as you guys well know, Atlanta is the ninth largest city in America. It's home of the busiest airport in America. You know, Heathrow Jackson is one of the busiest airport in America. CNN have their headquarters here. The Weather Channel have their headquarters here. The Home Depot have their headquarters here. We have many big organizations that have their headquarters here, and we were shut down for the last three to 4 days. We were shut down because of 2 inches of snow. Well, there's a lot of blame game going around. Who really was the result? Who caused it? What was the result of it? Um, did they not understand what was going on? Was it the governor? Was it the mayor of Atlanta? Well, I think it's just a whole conglomerate of people. It's just a whole bunch of people who did not pay heed to the weather warning. The weather warning was given and it was not taken. A lot of people got affected by this snowstorm. People were stuck in their car for several days. And I mean several hours, actually over some people 21 hours. And it was just a situation that was just very frustrating, debilitating. A lot of money was lost. A lot of just people not trusting in government right now. So we're going to talk, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to have some people calling in online to talk about their experience driving home. You know, how it was, what effect does this have on them. We're going to talk about how the cities basically don't coordinate with each other. People said it's just Atlanta Mayor Kashim Reed or what, you know, he was the cause of this, the governor, but the mayor of Atlanta is responsible for Atlanta, and it's proper. You have Cobb County, you got Cherokee County, you got Paulding County, you got Douglas County, and all these different counties and all these municipalities, and nobody's talking to each other. And you left with this kerfunkle and a whole lot of mess, and nobody really want to take responsibility. The Weather Channel was blamed for it, but we can't blame the Weather Channel because I heard it myself. It was put out there. Nobody took heed to it. I think the main focus, what people were talking about, is that they didn't want to lose money, shut the schools down, shut down the businesses, and nobody wanted to take responsibility for that. So we were left with a problem where everybody decided, oh yeah, it's going to snow. It's snowing at 9:30 in the morning. The snow started coming down, and by 10 o'clock, snow was really out there, 10, 11 o'clock. While 1 o'clock, all the businesses said, you guys can go home. The school decided to close at the last minute, and come and get your kids. So all these parents is just pushed out on the road, and everybody's out on the road. 1.5 million people on the highway, jamming up the highway. And the salt truck, though they have a few, could not even get to pass to put out the salt because the highways were completely jammed with cars. And let's not forget all the tractor trailers that pass through these 70, 75, 85, 285, I-20, jamming up the highway, flipping over. That didn't make it any better. And then you have the drivers here who are not accustomed to driving in icy conditions or snow. It may be a joke to people in the north to say, oh my God, how could the city be shut down for how many days for not even 3 inches of snow? For the people in Philadelphia, New Jersey, where I'm from, it's a dusting. That happens all the time. You wake up with 2, 3 inches of snow. That's nothing. You get up and go. But the big difference down here is this. There's no salt truck. There's no sand truck. The cities are not funded for that because it's such a rare thing to happen. It's not beneficial for them to fund. It's just they would be losing money. And it's all about money in the end. Well, I will say, I believe some of the cities did it well. Henry County did it well. They immediately closed all their schools for Tuesday and Wednesday. Before all of this started, they immediately closed their schools. Cobb County did it bad. Cobb County, I have to say this about Cobb County. They are always the last one to close their schools. They made a poor judgment, and they closed their school. They did not close on time, and they left all these parents to figure out where these kids are, and all the bus drivers on the road driving these bus full of children, slippery road. Some of these kids did not even get home at all, sleeping in schools. I believe, in my opinion, some people should get fired over this, in my opinion. I just see that. Some people should get fired over this. This is not something that's going to just be swept. We're going to just sweep underneath the rug and underneath the carpet. We're not going to do that with this one. This one, so many people could have, it was just basically the grace of God why some people didn't get killed or freeze to death out there. Grace of God. I don't know how it happened. It's a miracle, in my opinion, that more people didn't get hurt. So I have a few people that we need to talk about. This situation, how they were stuck on the road, how they're recuperating, because I can best believe that this situation here is that people are going to need therapy after all this. We have a call right now, so we're just going to jump right into it. This is the Omega Studios. Lady K speaking.
Hi, Kay. This is Rosie. How are you?
Hey, Rosie, you're on the air, my dear. I want to ask you, everybody's listening to you right now. I want you to go ahead and tell us your experience of traveling home Tuesday afternoon, leaving Brownsville Road to go to your house, which would normally be like a, 20-minute drive, would you say?
Yeah, 20 minutes, 25 minutes the most.
Okay, so
I left, a friend of mine called me because she just left work around maybe 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me, I'm just got home, but let me tell you, you at work? And I say, yes. And she said, why don't you go ahead and leave right now, because it's really bad outside. And I said, no, it doesn't look that bad. And she said, no, leave, because you're really, really going to need the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I went to Kroger's, went and buy a milk.
Mm-hmm.
I bought bread, and I got some eggs. So I went, Kroger's closed the store,
Mm-hmm.
and it was around 2:30, I was said.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned into Brownsville, and everything was okay until I got to Paris Springs. And it was a nightmare. I didn't think that it was going to take me almost 6 hours to get home. It was like, I got home around 8 o'clock. So
from what time would you say?
2:30.
12:30
when
to
I
8?
left, 2:30 to 2:45. And I got home. You were with me on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You kept me company, and I was talking to you, and it was, people were devastated. I think a lot of people ran out of gas.
Oh, wow.
And they abandoned their cars.
Mm-hmm.
They abandoned their cars. Literally, they abandoned the car. They start walking. And I really didn't think too much when I saw a few people. But then I started looking at it. A lot of people, they were walking. And some people, they weren't just not prepared because they were walking with a little sweater, which I thought that it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, there were some girls with the sandals, and I just say, oh, my Lord. But they must have, ran out of gas. Lucky for me, the day before, I fill up my tank.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
a good thing.
I always with my full tank anyway, but I don't think I'm going to forget this experience that easy. It is devastated, though.
So let me ask you, Rosie, who do you fault for this? We can't fault anybody for the snowfall. We can't fault anybody for the ice, but could you fault somebody for the coordination and the lack of planning? Could you fault somebody for that?
Absolutely. I think the authorities and the transit authorities, first of all, they were just terrible. There was nobody directing traffic. The police was not there.
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people drop the ball.
Yeah.
My biggest concern was not so much me because I'm an adult and I can take care of myself.
Right.
But I was thinking about all those children
Right.
that they were left in the school, and there were some children who, like your friend, that it was driving these children
And she'll be calling
all
a
over
little
the place,
bit.
and she was
Yeah.
devastated.
And she'll be
I mean,
calling a little bit later too to talk about her experience. You know.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely not. It's a nightmare for us. But can you imagine an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old in a bus for that long time without no food and without all this, craziness out there? I mean, that is devastating. So I really have to say that, the Cobb County School, is specific over here in Cobb County School because I saw it.
Yes.
I think that they are to be ashamed of themselves
Exactly.
because they knew that this was coming. The weathercast was saying that there was going to be snow because we didn't think about this. We are not prepared for emergency. We are really not prepared. And I think that's something that somebody has to be accountable, don't you think?
Absolutely. But that's what I was saying before I came on, doing the introduction. I just feel like somebody ahead should be rolled for this. They heard it. The weatherman reported it 2 days in advance, and it's like it's 2 inches is not much. You were from Chicago, so we understand it's not much, but we understand also that we don't have the equipment to deal with 2 inches or anything else. They don't have any kind of support system for this kind. So,
The difference between here and Chicago is that, and you are from Philadelphia, obviously, is that the land over there is flat. The land over here is not flat. It's curvy, and it goes up and down in hills. And the cars cannot hold in a hill when it's icy. I mean, I have experience driving in a snow, but I don't care how much experience you have. When you hit the ice,
right.
That was the factor later on in the evening.
Right.
That was so many accidents because of it. Thank God we didn't have. I don't think that there were so many fatalities that we have to say. In the public help each other. The people really help each other.
They really did. Yes, that's a thing that I really like.
A lot of people came together and they start helping each other. But we have to start thinking about how we can deal with something like this. We cannot rush all of us together at the
one
same
time.
time.
Never heard of cows.
And that was the biggest problem. We all just got this to the same place, but it's almost at the same time, and that's what.
That was the situation. It's like everybody we don't have that many roads as it is here, and everybody let out. This is my thing. I always say this, and this is not even about the snowstorm. We don't have enough public transportation. If those people that was in Atlanta proper, in the city of Atlanta, were going out of the city on a train or we wouldn't have all that jam up on the highway. We don't have enough roads. But you remember the election that they just had not too long ago, that they voted against it to increase the tax for more public transportation. So it's a catch-22. These things are going to happen again. I don't see any way it's not going to happen again, because everybody drive in the metro Atlanta area, because you don't have a choice. You got to get to work, you got to get to school, so you have to drive. Everybody have a car.
And we all meet that as in a certain point, a certain time. It's not. But what we need to do is to treat emergencies as emergency. When they say that it's snow, children should stay home.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the children should stay home. I think the schools, we don't need this craziness with the children out there. And the other thing is, the private sector can leave, but with the government should stay out there before the public, with the private sector.
Right.
That way we should treat it. We should treat it like an section. Okay, school is not there. That leaves a lot of way for us to get out. So if the private sector go first, then and the government later,
Yeah.
that will be taken alleviate a lot of problems.
A lot of
But
problems.
we all rush at the same time, and on top of that, the children, which it was very dangerous. I think it was
Disastrous.
dangerous to have children in buses
It's
because
disastrous.
frostbite is something that frostbite is something you don't play with. You know, when the children start getting sick and the bus driver cannot control children, then we have problems. I mean, that's absolutely crazy to me. I have never seen something like it, and believe me, I've been in blizzards.
I'm sure.
Back in Chicago,
That's a sentiment for
we had
everybody.
20 inches of snow. I mean, 20 inches of snow when the houses are covered.
Right.
But you know what? The precautions to all this, I have never seen. I've been in a blizzards and things like that, but I have never seen something like this. This is crazy.
Well, Rosie,
Crazy.
you want everybody else. This is a talk. This is gonna go on for a while. People want to know how it happened, why it happened, will it happen again? I mean, if you remember in 2011, I mean, the only reason why the kids weren't stuck at school in 2011 was because it was on a Sunday. Remember, this happened on a
Right, that's
yeah,
true.
that was it. But this is actually worse than 2011. This is worse. So I don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about. It's not that bad because we got 40 salt truck and 30 plows or whatever they have. I mean, he surely didn't do any good because the plows couldn't even get to go on the road to do the plowing or the snow and the standing and the salting because they were blocked off by the traffic. So they couldn't really get to even do their jobs.
But it's still yesterday. They have problems with the towings. I mean, that was a lot of
Thousands of cars on the street. Thousands of cars on the street.
Yeah, and there was still a lot of cars,
On the street.
abandoned. And that's what they were saying. On Friday we need all these cars, and that's what the authorities start towing all the vehicles.
Thousands of
But
cars.
when I drove to Thornton Road the other day, there was a lot of cars that run, all over the place. And I was coming into Florence. There was a lot of cars in Florence abandoned. And it still went over here in Marshfield, that's where I live. There was a lot of cars abandoned right there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not, I mean, this is crazy. I have never seen something like it.
Well, let's just hope,
This is
let's just hope that this will be the last we'll ever see anything like this, and they will surely learn their lesson from this. My thing about this whole situation is I hope this is, we can just come together as
But this is not just one sector. I mean, this is not only Cobb County. That was the Cherokee.
everyone.
That was
Pauling,
Atlanta.
Douglasville.
That was
Yes.
Ned. So all those officials dropped the ball. I mean, how crazy could that be? That
It's all of them.
made this decision.
It's all of them, but
All of them
it's
made
all
this
of them.
decision.
I have
They
to
didn't
give
make decisions.
I have to give put the fault where it lay. It's all of them. The only reason why they're talking about the mayor of Atlanta because he's the most visible mayor because Atlanta is bigger. But they all dropped the ball. They all dropped the ball. The governor is responsible for the highways. The mayors are responsible for their cities, and nobody communicated with each other. It's a fragmented government here. It's like Cobb do their thing, Bartow do their thing, Cherokee do their thing, Douglas do their own thing. Nobody communicate to each other. It's a mess. It's a mess. And if you think about it, Rosie, a lot of people work in Atlanta, but they live in all the metro area. So they really need to talk to each other. But they don't seem like they communicate to me at all. So, I really appreciate you calling in. And thank you for sharing your experience. God know, I hope this will never happen again to any one of us, and that your experience, boy, you can write that down and tell it to your grandchildren.
The piece of bread that I took over there in the car because I was getting hungry. There was no restaurant open.
I know. I just thought about the people that stayed 21 hours in the bus. How did they use the restroom? What did they do in that time? My gosh.
Yeah, I told you about the guy who has to go and take his personal um, go and pee in the road because he probably was bursting. I mean, these things happen.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. When nature calls and you're sitting in the traffic for 12 hours, hey, you got to do something, you know. So,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you calling, Rosie. I appreciate you calling, and thank you so much.
All
And
right.
you have a great
Thank
night, okay?
you. Okay,
All
talk to
right.
you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.